Well, ladies and gentlemen, President Trump has pretty much just won the ongoing trade war with China, and no, I'm not joking. You see, just yesterday afternoon, the Chinese Communist Party officially capitulated to President Trump's Liberation Day tariffs. What they did is they dropped their absolutely insane 125% retaliatory tariff on American ethylene imports into China. Now, to give you guys some context here, every single year the United States exports around $1.5 billion worth of ethylene into China. And ethylene is a highly flammable, difficult to transport gas that's absolutely critical to plastic production. And as you all know, China absolutely loves to produce plastic. So yeah, this is not some fringe manufacturing product. This is one of their core manufacturing resources, and China just backed down. Now, before we keep on breaking all of this down, I want you all to take a listen to what Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent had to say about all of this yesterday afternoon. But first, I do want to say real quick that if you guys enjoy the daily news updates, please consider subscribing to the channel because it really does help a ton. But okay, take a look at this.
Chinese tariffs are unsustainable for China. I've seen some very large numbers over the past few days to show if these numbers stay on, Chinese could lose 10 million jobs very quickly. And even if there is a drop in the tariffs, that they could lose 5 million jobs. So remember that we are the deficit country. They sell almost 5 times more goods to us than we sell to them. So the onus will be on them to take off these tariffs. They're unsustainable for them.
And they are saying you guys are not talking about it. So is that true?
Look, they have a different form of government. They're playing to a different audience. So I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty again of who's talking to whom. But as I said, I believe for the Chinese, these tariffs are unsustainable.
And so, folks, like we said earlier, as of yesterday afternoon, the CCP has officially caved to President Trump. Estimates suggest that up to 10 million jobs have been on the line in China's manufacturing sector because of President Trump's Liberation Day tariffs. That's the kind of pressure that forced the CCP to tap out. Their plastics industry alone completely depends on access to American ethylene, and President Trump was fully aware of that. And that is why this move wasn't just tactical, it was surgical. The removal of the 125% tariff is not just a goodwill gesture. No, it is a complete and total surrender to President Trump's America First economic onslaught. This is what winning looks like. And you know what, folks? Let's make something perfectly clear about all of this. China needs access to the United States markets far more than we need access to theirs. They export 5 times more to us than we export to them. They are addicted to the American consumer, and now they've been reminded who's really in charge. And so you know what? Take a listen to this follow-up from, once again, Scott Bessent.
I think from the Chinese side, these high tariffs are unsustainable. That I believe that U.S. Buyers did a substantial amount of pre-ordering, and now the factories in China are having to shut down. And I've seen some very large estimates of potential worker layoffs if these tariffs stay in place. So what I can tell you is the tariffs are unsustainable on the Chinese side, that we have a deficit with them. The surplus country always suffers more, and they sell us roughly 5 times more than we sell them.
So, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. While Chinese factories are shutting down, their ports are clogged up, and their economy is buckling, American businesses, they're sitting on inventory. They've stayed open. They are riding this out. And this is why President Trump's entire strategy was so brilliant. He knew that China couldn't go the distance. He knew that we had the leverage, and once again, he was right. President Trump's Liberation Day tariffs forced Beijing to drop theirs because they were watching their economy collapse in real time. Chinese factories are closing, Chinese workers are rioting. In truth, their entire export-based economy started to shake and tremble, all thanks to the America First agenda. So let's make this as crystal clear as we possibly can. President Trump called their bluff, and they folded. The reality is, China's retaliatory tariffs were never sustainable, and now the world knows it. Their entire strategy has been exposed, and more importantly, it's been defeated. President Trump's America First trade policies didn't just win the trade war, they're also reshaping the entire structure of global trade. For decades now, we've had presidents who just freely gave away all of our leverage, letting China cheat, manipulate currency, and flood our markets with cheap plastic crap. But now that President Trump is back in office, that era has come to an end. But of course, the lying progressive media won't admit it, the globalist elite won't admit it, and the Washington, D.C. swamp won't admit it either. But you and I both know this victory is absolutely massive because really it's not just about ethane, it's about everything that comes next. You see, President Trump's policies don't just punish bad economic actors like China, they reward American workers, they boost U.S. manufacturing, they restore national sovereignty. This isn't just a trade strategy, this is more of an American economic renaissance. And so, ladies and gentlemen, here's the truth. The CCP dropping their 125% tariff is absolute, undeniable proof that President Trump's economic policies are not only working, no, they're transforming the entire global economy. President Trump's economic policies are slowly putting an end to China's ongoing predatory economic practices while also simultaneously putting American economic interests in the forefront of the global economic discussion for the first time in decades. And so now that President Trump is back in the White House, the days of Chinese global economic manipulation are coming to an end. And so, ladies and gentlemen, that is what it means to put America first. Now, folks, before we wrap up with today's video, I want to say real quick that I've actually gone ahead and made a community Facebook page where I'll be posting additional news and updates as it relates to all of this. So if you guys use Facebook, check out the pinned comment down below and give that page a follow. But everyone, that is going to be a wrap for today's video, so please go down below and drop a comment. Let me know what you think about all of this. Please like the video while you're down there. As I said earlier, please consider subscribing to the channel because it really does help a ton with my daily struggle here on YouTube. Thank you all very much for tuning in today, and of course, as always, stay safe.